One fighter that I'm definitely surprised isn't getting more hype than he is Tatsuro Taira. Because, well, it seems like all the hype is going towards Muhammad Makayev at flyweight, mostly because of his Russian surname. So if you get a guy who's like from the Caucasus and he's undefeated and he has a dominant wrestling style, then he's the next Khabib, right? But in his last fight, he almost got submitted and he ran into a lot of troubles, especially in the grappling department. So that was a match he could have lost, maybe 4 times out of 10. That was not a dominant performance, and Makayev isn't even in the top 10, I believe. Maybe he is. Not to say he won't be a title contender, but you look at someone like Tatsuro Taira, and oh yeah, he did have some moments in one of his fights that went to a decision where he was on bottom position. The majority of the fight he won. So I think he's going to be a huge, and you have to consider the fact that he's so young. I think he's 21. So by the time he's what, 25, 26, even 30, he's going to improve massively. He's going to become a totally different fighter. So even at this young age, you really have to consider. At this young age, he's beating these very experienced fighters. And yeah, he hasn't fought any ranked fighters yet, but he has so much time to improve. And I think that's just such a huge factor. And then you also have to look at his skill set. Oh, for physical attributes, I should have given him 2 checks because this is flyweight. Anyways. So, when it comes to like the majority of flyweight, he doesn't have insane power. I've seen some of his fights, he can drop people. But the power is nothing special. It's like slightly above average power for flyweight. Because flyweights usually don't, I think flyweight is the division, yeah, because as you go lower in weight. As you go lower in weight, the percentage of fights that end in knockdown decreases for obvious reasons. But anyways, his striking technique, it's nothing super groundbreaking, but he has very solid like defensive striking. He has good distance management, and even his offense is very dynamic. He has good straight shots, good kicks. He really mixes up the target and technique that he uses. So a lot of promise in the striking technique. Wrestling, perhaps against many fighters at flyweight, you could give him like 2 check marks, which means a significant advantage, because we haven't really seen how good his defensive wrestling is. Or maybe we have, but I just didn't see those fights. But it seems like his offensive wrestling is pretty good. He can, everyone so far that he's attempted to take down, he's been able to take them down pretty much with ease and then keep him in those positions. But I think more so what makes him more dangerous is his scrambles and how he sets up submissions. That's what makes him really dangerous in the grappling department. So, you know, a more mature, developed version of this guy, when he just trains for a few more years, he's going to be really dangerous. And yeah, the submissions, I'd say, against a lot of fighters at flyweight, the submissions are going to be a problem, because he does have a very good submission game. It seems like he has a pretty good assortment of techniques, and he can set them up from many different positions. It's not like one fighter where they'll have one technique, like one submission technique that they always try to set up and they always rely on it. It seems like he's very versatile. In terms of athleticism, we don't know what his cardio's like. I think I saw he's had a few 3-round fights, but those aren't super telling. That's not the same as a championship level fight, 5 rounds when there's, you know, a super high output. So that's sort of a question mark. But I haven't seen any glaring weaknesses in his cardio, so that's why I couldn't say his cardio sucks or anything. Or in terms of like speed or explosivity or strength, he seems pretty, nothing too groundbreaking that I've seen that really stands out. In terms of physical attributes, maybe he could get 2 check marks, because this is flyweight and he is, his, what is it? His reach, that's the word. His reach and his height are really good for flyweight. Especially with like the guy that he just fought who had the shortest reach in the UFC, I believe. But he could definitely... Oops, did my thing turn off? No, it's good. Anyways, yeah, the reach is a huge advantage, and his height, especially for his style, where he's going for submissions a lot. So anyways, I think this guy will be, for sure, not with his current skill set, like as he is right now, you put him against a champion, he's going to win. But given a few more years of development, at the very least, he'll be a title contender, if not the champion. And I think he has like unlimited potential. So I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe he's a hype train that crashes and burns. But so far, I think he has more promise than Makayev. I think he'd beat Makayev, to be honest, if they were to fight right now with their like current forms and then skill sets. But we'll see what happens.